Have you ever felt like your life was a mistake? Or wonder what life would be like in another family? These thoughts replayed in Zenobia's adult mind over and over. Her mother had gotten pregnant with her at the age of 12. Unfortunately for Zenobia, Mary didn't believe in having an abortion because she knew getting pregnant was one of the consequences of having unprotected sex.
Hello, and welcome to the Working Wednesdays podcast and broadcast video. I am your host, Audra V. Hurd. I am a serial author and also the owner and CEO of IBG Publications, which stands for Inspired by God. Today's guest, I'm so excited to get her on today. She is none other than Alethea Gibbs. She has a phenomenal book she's written, addressing the issue of absentee fathers. So if you are an absentee father, we are going to talk directly to you today. She has a message, but most of all, I think she has some encouragement, to get you involved in the life of your children. So I want to take this opportunity and officially introduce her to my audience today. Again, she is Alethea Gibbs. She is also known as Gibbs Truth. She is the author of They Don't Hear Her Cries, and Alethea means truth. Oh, her name means truth. Wonderful. That's good. I like that. Therefore, it is imperative to her to be honest. Furthermore, Alethea is an actress, active volunteer in her community, and a motivational speaker. She specializes in speaking to the youth. Speaking to children in schools about all types of issues, such as helping them cope with not having an active father in their lives, never giving up, being bullied, domestic violence, and having suicidal thoughts are dear subjects to Gibbs because of the personal experience she's dealt with. She goes to classrooms and reads books to the children also. She takes pride in reaching out to the youth since it takes a village to raise a child. That is such a true proverb. I believe it's an African proverb. Yes. Gibbs feeds the homeless because it's sad to witness the less fortunate searching for food in the garbage. I agree with that. Unfortunately, it's too many sad people in this world. So one of Alethea's goals is to put a smile on as many faces as possible and to spread happiness throughout the world. Gibbs, Alethea, is passionate about encouraging and motivating people to smile and be happy. Yes. She stresses the importance of being helpful to others too. Alethea Gibbs wants to leave you with a few words of encouragement. Always be honest with yourself and do what makes you happy. Don't be afraid to start over and change for the better. That Gibbs Truth, no lie. Okay, that's your slogan, Gibbs yes. Truth. Okay, I like that. Gibbs yes. Truth, which is similar to Gibbs Truth. So I like that. Gibbs Truth, no lie. Yes. Check out her Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Periscope. So welcome to the broadcast today. If you don't mind, go ahead and take an opportunity and just greet our viewers and our listeners today.
Okay, thank you for having me. Hello to everyone. Thank you for your support. I believe you watching me is support. That's free support. I'm all for it. Word of mouth, all that good stuff. Just make sure you tell people about me, Alethea Gibbs, Gibbs Truth, whatever name you choose to use. And do me a favor and have them grab a copy of my book, They Don't Hear Her Cries. I would really, really appreciate that.
Awesome. So welcome again to the Working Wednesdays podcast video show. Let's go ahead and jump right on in. But before we jump in, I want to tell you what dropped in my spirit when I was reading your bio. Okay?
Yes.
I know that you wrote a book, but have you thought about doing a children's series?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really not a fan for series. Okay. I just feel like I'm the type, you know, I want to be like 1-2 books, that's it.
Okay.
Quick to the point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I always told myself that if I did would just be honest, 2 books. I'm not doing 3, 4, none of that.
Okay.
I really do want to write a children's book though. Like, don't get me wrong, it's 2 different books I started, but again, they're not series though. You know, it's just stuff that's on my mind.
Gotcha. Okay.
But for sure, the reason I said children's book though, because I do feel some type of way when I go read to the youth. I'm like, I want to read my own book to them, you know?
I know. That's exactly what I thought about when I saw you going to classrooms. I was like, is she going to do a children's book?
I promise you.
Immediately.
Yes.
Okay.
So far, I started writing 2 so far.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. So let's jump right on in. You wrote your first book, you told me back in 2015. So what put you, you know, in that position to say, it's time to write a book. Let me go ahead and do this and put it out. It's my story. It's my truth.
Yes.
Gibbs truth. So,
no lie.
So what made you say, let me just go ahead and do this?
Okay. So like for a while, I was a sad little girl. Okay. Mm-hmm. And as I grew up, it really bothered me to see, especially children I know for sure in my life who went through what I went through. You know, I'm like, wow, like I felt like this. I know how they're feeling, you know? So I'm like, now that I'm older, let me give them something to help them cope with the fact that unfortunately daddy may never be in your life, you know? And instead of us worrying about who's not in our life, we have to focus on who's in our life. So when I talk to the youth face to face, I let them know, I say, look to the left of you, look to the right. I say, who do you see? Majority of the times it's always mommy and grandma. So I say, you know what, focus on that, you know? And again, me seeing this from the people I know in my life, I'm like, you know, it's time for me to do something, time for me to be that positive role model. And that's basically what made me just share, I'm gonna say, bits and pieces of my story, because yes, the whole fatherless child part, yes, that's true, I lived that. However, some other stuff in there is not truly my life. However, I witnessed it, whether it was my sister, for example, you know, she was a gang member at one point. She changed her life a lot. She changed her life around, thank God, since she had her 2 children, my nieces, you know. But again, since I witnessed it, I saw, you know, what she was going through, I was able to write about it, you know. So it's a lot of my truth and other people's truth in my story. And my whole point of that is that, sad to say, when children lack the love and attention, you know, from their parents, because sometimes it is both, but in my situation, I'm talking about, you know, the absent father. But unfortunately, they vent in negative ways, again, because they just looking for that love and attention. So I made sure I was specific on what I talked about in my book, just to let them know, for example, you know, they're going to go to the streets. Some may go to drugs, like different stuff, all because they lacking that love and attention, you know? So they trying to look for it somewhere else.
Yeah. You're right. Anytime there's a void, because, you know, lack of a father means that it puts a void there.
Yes.
And so they do go looking for those substitutes, you know, to fill the void, you know. So I'm glad that you decided to step out of your comfort zone, you know, and be a role model, someone that people can look up to. And that's not an easy place to sit in, because, you know, your life now becomes scrutinized.
I know,
you know?
Believe me, I know.
Everything you do, every move you make, somebody's got a judgment call on it. So, you know, that is a call, you know, to answer as far as being a role model. So I applaud you, you know, for taking that step, and you're welcome in taking that leap of faith. So tell me, how has writing it and seeing your truth on paper, how has that impacted who you are as a person?
So, I'm gonna say this. At first, I wasn't really strong enough to write it. That's why I feel like it took me this many years, you know, to write it. But then after seeking professional help, yes, is in there too. Like, I really did have to seek a psychiatrist, please. I still go now to this day, because at the end of the day, I feel like sometimes we need to go talk to someone, a vent to, you know, someone, like, professionally. I'm gonna say that. And once like I started talking to them for a few sessions, and they asked me different stuff like, so what do you like to do, this and that, and one of them encouraged me to start writing. So then I'm like, okay, writing is helping me, you know, it's soothing, it's really therapeutic, like I
Yes,
believe
it is. It is.
and then I told myself, I'm like, well, instead of me keep on venting and all this stuff, you know, about my hurt and pain on Facebook, why not put in a book and get paid for it? Like, that's how I was thinking.
I like the way you think. I like how you think.
So that's how I was feeling. So then I'm like, now, you know, that I'm really taking it more seriously, I'm like, you know what, I like it, especially when I go talk to youth and stuff, and I see that I really, you know, impact their lives in a positive way. It just honestly makes me feel good. And part of me wish that I did write it sooner, but at the end of the day, I believe everything happens for a reason. Like, it was meant for me to write it when I wrote it, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how I feel.
And everything is a process, you know, especially when you write for healing. A lot of people don't realize, you know, when I wrote my first book, it was just journaling. And for the same reason as you, therapeutic, you know, just want to get past my emotions and all things like that. And everything that you write, it may not make it in the book, but you wrote it and you got the healing, you know, that was needed. So, and I always talk about this on the broadcast all the time, you know, writing is for healing, it's therapeutic.
It really is.
And you said you were soothed, you know, so it helped you get through, you know, that rough patch, and to get to that place of, you know, putting it in paper. You know,
I'm serious. It helps so much, because it's like sometimes you don't really want to talk about certain things, but it's like once you in that moment and you writing it, just letting it out, like you feel so much better, you know?
Yeah, you do. And I'm glad you said that. So would you encourage, and I kind of, you know, I stick to the script, but I move around. Would you encourage someone else, you know, to write, you know, that might be going through what you went through?
Yes, absolutely. And I promise you, even when I go talk to the youth, because I could see as soon as I mention certain stuff, you could see the change, you know, in them. And I'm like, Dad, they are really hurting. They young. I said, listen, just start writing, you know? If you feel like you can't go talk to someone, or you're afraid, sad to say, you know, we believe that getting help we crazy or something, even though it's not true. But I try to encourage them, you know, to get the professional help. But if you ashamed of it for whatever reason, just write. I'm telling you, just write it out, write it down, and you'll feel so much better. So I really always tell them to write, let it out. You have to let it out. I'm telling you. You can't hold that hurt, pain, anger in forever.
Yeah, you're right. And that is why some people, you know, get sick, or, you know, they commit acts of violence, because they're holding in that rage and that anger, you know,
and it's like they don't know the proper way to let it out, you know? That's why I'm like, it's not good. I'm sorry, it's not good.
Yeah.
Stress kills, I believe that.
Now, I know you do, you know, going to the schools with motivational and things like that. Do you do anything like life coaching or anything to help people deal with these kinds of issues?
No, I never like took my time to do it like that. I just do my best to encourage them every time I get, you know, invited to the schools and stuff. But I never took like the time to do one-on-one. That's what you asked me?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure I can help them, but I don't know, for whatever reason, I never did it. I'm gonna say yet, because I may do it, you know?
Yeah. You never know how, you know, things may evolve. So let's kind of transition into that. So where do you see yourself? I know what you're doing now, and we know when you released your book, but where do you see yourself evolving, you know, into the next 5 years? What do you see yourself doing?
So I would love to be able to like open my own center or something, just for like the youth to come to me, for example, and really just sit and vent to me. We can vent, we can write, we can, you know, do different activities. Like I'm thinking about something like that, because especially where I'm from, not trying to be funny, but I'm in the hood, you know, I'm in North New Jersey. And I feel like not only do people lack, you know, both parents, we don't have much activities and stuff for them to, you know, do fun stuff. So it's like, it's just a bunch of negative stuff out in the street. So yes, I really do want to be that positive example. Like I really do. I keep telling myself, especially, you know, like 5 years from now, when I'm really financially stable and can afford to do something like that, I would love to like open up a center or something for them, just for them to have fun, you know, in a positive way, like something positive for the youth. Like I'm all for the youth, I promise you, because at the end of the day, the youth are our future. You know, I believe that.
Yes.
Like I'm gonna get old one day, and I just want to really be a positive example for them and know that, wow, like I did something good, you know?
Yeah. And you know, though that the youth, I've always worked with youth and kids since I was like about 18. So
Wow,
I
nice.
understand the impact that we make on a life. And I don't think people understand, you know, how crucial it is to get somebody when they're young, and how it can change or redirect their destiny, or, you know, their purpose in life, just because somebody had a place like you desire to open that gives them an outlet and gives them a place to go and express themselves. It could cut off suicide. You know, I know in your bio we talked about, you know, you dealing with the suicide and things like that. And so if you just never know, you know, having that outlet. And honestly, you know, I know where you are, but places that I've been, places like this are scarce in communities that really need it. You know,
I know.
And most of
it's like we really need it. You would think, but we don't have it. It's weird. Like I can't explain it.
Yeah,
because and some of us can't afford to go to the nicer areas where it's at, and that's the sad part.
Right. And so we got to start looking out for our own. You know, we can't wait for somebody to come into our communities and do it for us. We got to do it for ourselves. You know, and I believe if it starts with people like yourself, and you know, you get a chain of people who really care, because everybody ain't angry at kids, everybody ain't mad at you.
I know.
You know, young people, there are some people who really love kids and really have a heart for children, you know. So I'm just going to believe with you, you know, that you develop that vision. I don't know if you have a name for it, you know, name it, write it down on paper, develop it. It sounds like a nonprofit organization.
I think so. That's what it may be. Yes.
Yeah.
I keep saying that, but I need to take my time and really, you know, look up the whole nonprofit. And I have so much paperwork and all that, but I really had to really take my time and do it the correct way, you know?
Gotcha. Well, you got motivated today.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, listen, audience, we're going to take a very short break right here, and we will be back with more of Gibbs Truth. So hang out, stick it out with us. We are coming right back.
They don't hear her cries. 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 They don't hear her cries.
All right, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. We are still having an awesome conversation with, I'm gonna call her Miss Gibbs Truth. So we have been talking about her purpose and what her destiny is, how she has been used by God in her community to minister to young people who are hurting, and also to provide hope and healing. So welcome back again, Miss Alethea. Thank you so much for sticking around with us this afternoon. So let's transition back into our conversation. So we talked a little bit about your book, what your plans are for the book, what your plans in the next 5 years. So talk a little bit about the legacy. You kind of touched on this, but I want you to talk a little in depth about the legacy that you plan to leave in the earth, or the legacy that you want to leave with people that you encounter.
So in general, I want people to really like be happier with their self, period. Self-love is key, is important. Your happiness means everything. You matter. That's really how I feel. Like, you have to really be happy with yourself, do what's best for you, because at the end of the day, you can't go around trying to live for the world and make the world happy, and then you in the background unhappy, you know? And I'm gonna say this because for many years, I used to pretend that I was so happy, you know, and at the end of the day, I was at home crying in my bed or crying in the shower. Like, that's my whole thing. Like, I really just want people like to love themselves more and just really be completely happy with self. Like that's the best thing that I could ask from anyone. That's truly how I feel, because this world, period, like, we need more love, less hate. Like that, like, that's really how I feel.
Yes, yes, I totally agree. So with desiring, you know, to leave a legacy of self-love and leaving that with people, what do you feel like is the greatest investment that you've made in yourself when it comes to how far you've come, what you've accomplished? What's your greatest investment into yourself?
Right now, just thinking, I really feel like seeking professional help was my greatest investment. I'm so serious, because going to see a psychiatrist, like, it did so much greatness for me. I'm telling you, like, I could be anywhere, you know, I could be doing anything, a bunch of negative stuff. If you ask me, I could be on drugs, I could be in jail, I could be dead. But I'm telling you, I feel like by the grace of God, for just giving me that strength, that courage to go see a psychiatrist was everything. I'm telling you, like, I recommend therapy to everyone. That's just truly how I feel. I feel like, even if you think, oh, nothing wrong with me, I'm not crazy, this and that, at the end of the day, just every day going to work and school, that can be stressful. So I just feel like it's nothing wrong with going to seek outside help from a professional. Like, to me, that was everything for me.
Wow, that's a huge statement for somebody that's listening who is on the fence about professional help. And let's be honest, you know, us people of color, we have a stigma when it comes to therapy, when it comes to psychiatrists, and, you know, we immediately associate it with someone who's cuckoo or crazy or, you know, whatever the case may be. But, you know, we've seen some people in the news, we know their names, I don't have to call them, but, you know, pressure is causing people mental breakdowns.
I know.
You know, and so once you have a breakdown, now you're going to get the help, but you knew there was an issue leading up to the breakdown.
Yes.
You know, so I think that, you know, you were honest with yourself, you know, that I need the help, and that you went and got the help. And when we invest into ourselves, that's the greatest investment we could ever make.
I'm telling you, like, we have to, and just stop being in denial. Like, too many of us are in denial, and that's the problem right there.
And that denial is why we see, again, the breakdowns, you know, the mass, somebody can just go shoot up a place, or, you know, whatever the case may be, because they did not seek out that help. So that is a great investment that you made into yourself. So what words of encouragement would you give someone who wants to write a book, who's not completed their process and just kind of, you know, up in the air? They could kind of take it or leave it. It's not that serious. What kind of advice would you give someone that needs to write a book, or even wants to write one?
Oh, wants to write. Okay. So I know it sounds cliche. We say it a lot, but I promise you, I tell everyone, you have to start writing. Like, that's just the sad truth. Not trying to be funny like that. I'm not even gonna say it's sad, but that's the honest truth. You know, I see so many people, oh, I want to write a book, I'm going to write a book, but they never start writing. Stop being stuck on being perfect. Why? Because that's why you hire your editor. Just write. You have to write. Like, I can't think of nothing else to say, but you have to start. I'm serious. You can't finish if you don't start. And I'm going to keep on saying that, because I promise you, too many people, they never start. And it's like, okay, you're never going to get your book finished because you didn't even start writing a word, a sentence, you know? So that's really how I feel. Like, just write, and then hire you an editor, and you'll have your book.
Those are good tips. You know, just get started. Because writing a book, it's a tedious process.
Oh, I know.
Once you get it started,
it's not easy.
But once you get it done, it's like you said, it's never going to be perfect. You know,
that's how I feel.
Never. Not when we're writing it in our mind, because we're going to go back and change, go back and fix. I could have said this way or done this that way. So we always gonna be, you know, scrutinizing our own selves and our own work. So why keep delaying the process? Because like you said, hire an editor and they will help you make that thing perfect. And I think accountability, you know, to go along with what you said, get somebody to be accountable to, you know, to go ahead and get it done, you know, and get the words on paper and into somebody's hands. So
and I'm telling you, once you finish writing, excuse me for cutting you off, you're going to feel so good that like, wow, I wrote this book. Because that's how I feel. I promise you every day. I'm like, wow, I really did it. People are reading my book, especially when they inbox me, they leave reviews and stuff. Like that makes me feel good to know like I wrote my book. You know, I did it. I completed. I finished. I didn't give up.
Yeah, yeah. That is a good feeling. No feeling like it. It's like holding a newborn baby. Once you get that book in your hands, it's like I cried like tears of joy. Like
that's how I felt.
Yeah, I literally broke down and cried when I got my first book in my hands. So you are so right. So what are the wishes when someone gets your book in their hands and they're reading it? What do you want them to take away from the book? What do you want the book to accomplish?
So for sure, I want them to know, like, at the end of the day, I didn't give up. At the end of the day, I'm not another statistic. I can't be, because, you know, it's so much, oh, this happens and that happens. And my thing is, yes, it happens, you know, it can happen, but I'm trying to do my best to show you that you could prevent it from happening. You don't have to go the negative route. And even when I go speak to the youth, I say, look, I still live here in the hood. If I made it, you can too. And that's just honestly how I feel, like, period. I'm not trying to be funny. It's so easy to do bad or negative, but listen, we just got to be strong, toughen up, and, you know, stay positive. Like, it's okay if you have to be the only one by yourself. You don't have to go stick with the negative crowd and be a bunch of followers. You know what I'm saying? So that's really how I'm on it. Like, yes, I told you I act too. I can't wait to write my own movie or something, or just be a main actress, an actor. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I'm telling you, it's so much stuff on my mind. Like, it's so much stuff that I'm still going to do. Like, this is not even my best yet. Like, I didn't even complete everything yet. Like, I have so much in store. Like, I'm telling you, just remember me, okay? Just remember me, because
I will.
I'm telling you, I'm going to have a lot of good stuff happening. I promise.
We didn't talk about your acting career. Talk about your acting career.
So, but like, let me tell you, right now, I'm just like on YouTube. I have some stuff on YouTube, but I'm telling you, my goal is to be on Hulu, Netflix, something. You want to be able to turn the TV on and see me. That's just how I feel. Look, I'm going to show you something real quick. Like, I network, I don't know if it's backwards or whatever, but I network with LV Magazine, right? This they kids one, but they have LV Magazine Kids. They have regular LV Magazine. LV Media, you go to lv.com. Like, it's just a lot of stuff they doing. But long story short, they doing books, magazines, movies, all that. And I'm telling you, I feel like it was meant for me to meet them. You know, everything happens for a reason. And even with their help, guess what? We're going to do a lot of stuff together. So that's why I'm like, even though I had these goals and dreams for a while, and I see they're passionate the same way I am, it's going to happen. Like, we are going to be on Hulu, Netflix, something. You're going to see me on TV, I'm telling you. And guess what? When you see me in these movies, I'm promoting my book. Like, you want to, just watch my work. I'm telling you. Don't believe me, watch.
You believing in yourself, it convinces everybody else.
I promise you.
Because if you don't believe it's going to happen, then nobody else cannot believe with you.
You're absolutely right. And guess what? When I was writing a book, I was like, oh, I'm going to be in a magazine. I'm in the magazine now. I'm in Compulsive Magazine. Let me tell y'all, because I tell everyone this. I'm in the back, but guess what? I'm in there. One day I'm going to be on the cover. I'm telling you, just watch.
From the back to the front. From the back to the front. Literally.
Listen.
Hey,
so I believe in myself. Even that, you have to believe in yourself. You have to.
Yes. Which goes back to the self-love that you talked about. Because once you love yourself, you can believe in yourself.
Yes.
Once you love yourself. So that's really good stuff. That's good stuff. So what are some final words of encouragement that you would leave with our listeners and our viewers?
Okay. So again, you gotta just smile, be happy. Oh, speak your truth, know your truth. Like, I can't say it enough. I'm telling you, I understand life gonna get stressful. That's just life. You know, it comes with ups and downs, you know, good and bad, but you have to pick yourself up, you know, never give up. I mean that with all my heart, never ever give up. And guess what? Another hashtag I use, I'm too stubborn to give up. That's just how I'm on it. Like, you not going to catch me giving up. Like, and I mean it. Yes, I may get weak. Not all the times I'm strong 24/7, but I promise you, I'm going to get back up stronger than ever. And that's just how I'm on it. Like, when I first published my book, I promise you, people had a lot of negative stuff to say, even my 1 star. But guess what? Now I have a bunch of 5 stars. Why? Because I never gave up, and I'm never going to give up. Simple as that. Gibbs, truth, no lie.
All right. All right. Y'all heard it here. Gibbs, truth. And you said something good, from 1 star to 5 stars. You just kept pushing your vision. You kept pushing what you believe. And people got to catch on.
I'm telling you, I
eventually they're going to catch on to your fire. So your fire has to start with you.
That's it.
Your fire has been lit, and it is fired up, and it is blazing, girl.
Thank you. I appreciate
that. Your fire
that.
is blazing, and I'll be looking for your star on Hollywood. How about that?
Thank you so much.
Hollywood Walk of Fame. I'll be looking for your star.
Yes.
Yes. So tell everybody where they can find your books, where they can find you on social media, and all that good stuff.
Okay, so I'm Gibbs Truth everywhere. I use Gibbs Truth for branding, so you can find me like everywhere. Believe it or not, Snapchat. Like, thanks to my nieces, they have me there. I'm on like everywhere you could think of. I'm telling you, just search Gibbs Truth. I should pop up. Period. You know. Even YouTube. I want you to check out my YouTube channel. I mean, I'm still in the beginning stage, but I'll get there. Especially if you start watching, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll get there. So Gibbs Truth everywhere, even my website, gibbstruth.com. I'm on Amazon. I'm on iTunes. Like, just search me, search my book title, They Don't Hear Her Cries. If you go on my website, I didn't set it up for you to just click on a book and buy it. However, if you email me and let me know, like, I'm interested in buying a book, guess what? Just because you're watching this right now, I'm gonna give it to you for $10. Simple as that. Just go to gibbstruth.com and either PayPal me or Cash at me. Again, I'm Gibbs Truth, okay?
All right.
And just, that's it. That's how I'm on it.
All right. All right. Y'all heard it here. Gibbs Truth across all social media platforms. I like it when people keep it simple to find them everywhere.
Thank you, because I'm not about to try to figure, you this and that.
Right. Keep it simple, stupid. We call that steal it with a kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. So
yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the Working Wednesdays podcast and video broadcast. We appreciate you joining us and spreading the love, spreading your truth, and just motivating people to love themselves and be the best version of themselves that they can be. Any other final words before we sign off?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm truly honored, grateful. Like, I love it. I'm serious. I'm very appreciative because you did not have to share your platform with me, and I'm truly grateful. Thank you so much. You have my support. Know that.
Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. And once everything's final, you just make sure you share. And of course, you can invite somebody else on that you think has a positive message as well. We'd love to have them on as well. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you to the Working Wednesdays broadcast audience. We appreciate your continued followership. And y'all know where to find us at. IBG Publications across all platforms, ibgpublications.com. Tune in, watch, and be blessed. God bless y'all, and we will see you next time.